Stories Philippines Podcast.
It's the whisper that catches you first. Not a sound of wind or the rustle of leaves, but a low, guttural murmur rising from the earth itself. You're standing in a patch of wild ginger and fern, the air thick and warm, smelling of damp soil and ancient rot. You feel an unseen pressure, a cold spot on your neck, despite the tropical heat. You haven't moved a muscle, but something has noticed you. A shadow shifts where no shadow should be, near the roots of a towering, silent balete tree. Are you welcome here? Or have you just disturbed a slumbering world that exists simultaneously with your own? This is the boundary. This is where the living tread upon the unseen. I'm Jessica, and you are listening to a bonus episode of Stories Philippines podcast. This episode contains dark themes and unsettling imagery. Listener discretion is advised. We have spent the entirety of this season exploring the shadows of the archipelago. We've chased the flickers in the night and the cold dread on the lonely highways. We've spoken of the kapre who smokes his giant cigar high in the branches, the unsettling beauty of the Manananggal's flight, and the ancient spirits bound to the great, sprawling roots of the balete. But to truly understand these separate terrors, we must first understand the fundamental framework that holds them all together. We must speak of the space between the living and the dead. We must speak of the Laman Lupa. The term itself, Laman Lupa, is a simple, visceral compound. It means literally flesh of the earth or content of the soil. But its true meaning is far more profound. The Laman Lupa are not merely ghosts or demons in the Western sense. They are the indigenous elemental spirits of the Philippines. They are the true owners of the land, the air, the water, and the forests, here long before any human foot stepped onto the humid shores. Think for a moment of your own home. Do you truly feel you own the land it rests on? Or is it merely on loan? In the ancient, deep-rooted animism of the Filipino people, every hill, every stream, every stand of bamboo is imbued with its own consciousness, its own spirit resident. These spirits are the Laman Lupa. They are a vast and varied civilization, ranging from the towering, benevolent kapre protecting his tree, and the mischievous Nuno Sapunso, the old man of the anthill, to creatures of far more unsettling and ambiguous intent. The fundamental rule of this spirit world is respect. The old customs dictate a quiet, constant deference. Before you build a hut, you must offer an appeasement. Before you cut down a tree, you must first ask for permission. Even a simple, necessary act like relieving yourself in the woods requires a whispered apology, a request of tabi-tabi po, excuse me please, to the unseen residents. To fail in this is to court misfortune, sickness, or far worse. The Laman Lupa are not inherently evil, but they are easily offended. They are territorial, possessive, and their punishments for human transgression are often subtle, escalating, and deeply personal. Consider the story of a young man named Alvin, shared with us confidentially under the condition of anonymity. Alvin and his friends, all from the city, were hiking near Mount Banahaw, a place legendary for its spiritual potency, some 20 years ago. Alvin, being brash and young, scoffed at the guide's warning to stay on the path. He wandered off to take a photograph near a strangely gnarled acacia tree. As he snapped the photo, he felt a sting on his hand, like a strong pinch, and heard that familiar whisper, but now closer, angrier. He returned to the group immediately, but within a day, his entire right arm was covered in a peculiar, non-itchy rash that doctors could not diagnose. It lingered for 6 months, receding only after his grandmother, a woman deeply versed in the old ways, performed a quiet ritual of oil and prayer under a full moon, a specific apology offered back to the earth. This kind of exchange is common. The spirit world is not distant, it is merely invisible. They exist in the places we neglect, the dark corners of the rice fields, the overgrown ruins, the shadow of the forgotten well. The balete tree, which we spoke of in our first episode, is perhaps the most potent gateway, its complex root system acting as the spinal column of this hidden realm, a central gathering point for the Laman Lupa. It is an almost universal truth across the Philippines that you never disturb a large balete. To drive a nail into its trunk is to invite a terrifying and focused spiritual attack. Globally, this concept is not unique to the Philippines. The Fae or Shi of Ireland, the Kami of Shinto Japan, or the tutelary deities of Roman antiquity, they all speak to the same universal human recognition. We are not alone on this earth, and the landscape itself holds power beyond our comprehension. But the Filipino experience is unique in its integration. The boundary is thinner here. The belief isn't just a quaint superstition. It is a practical caution that informs daily life, a cultural tapestry woven into the very fabric of society. This is why the legends endure. We rely on stories like these to build our narrative. If you have had an encounter with the unseen owners of the land, share it with us. You can submit your stories to storiesphpodcast@gmail.com. Your privacy will always be protected. The scientific or psychological approach might call this apophenia, the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns in random data, or simply a manifestation of cultural memory to enforce ecological conservation. The theology of the Spanish friars, arriving in the 1600s, attempted to demonize the Laman Lupa as mere devils or agents of Satan, forcing the people to choose between the foreign god and their ancient protectors. But the beliefs persisted. The Filipino spiritual worldview achieved a masterful syncretism, a blending. Many Filipinos today respect the Nuño and attend Mass on Sunday, seeing no contradiction. The spirit world is simply a parallel bureaucracy that must be acknowledged. What does this tell us? It tells us that fear is not always born from darkness. Sometimes it is born from humility. The true terror of the Laman Lupa is the realization of our own smallness, our ephemeral tenancy on a planet whose deepest roots belong to others. We are the newcomers, the squatters on a beautiful, powerful domain. The air we breathe, the water we drink, it is all their territory, and they permit us to use it. When we forget this permission, when we become arrogant, when we disrupt the essential rhythm of the earth for our own gain, the spirits remind us of the past. In the old towns of Bataan, where the forests still hold their primordial shape, they speak of the sound of someone crying your name from the thicket. But when you look, there is no one there. They call this pagsasama, the act of being called or tricked away by the spirits. If you follow the voice, you become naliligaw, lost, confused, and sometimes permanently trapped in a spatial or psychological snare. This is the Laman Lupa's way of reclaiming you, a quiet kidnapping to integrate you back into the earth you attempted to dishonor. To support the creation of these deep dives into Filipino folklore, you can find show notes and support options in the description of this episode. Your contribution helps us keep the stories alive. The final reflective lesson is this: the world we inhabit is not just made of matter, it is made of meaning. The stories we tell about the Kapre, the Tiyanak, the Nuno, they are not just monster tales. They are ecological parables. They are ancient warnings, They are the voice of the earth telling us to slow down, to tread lightly, and to recognize the sacredness in every patch of green, in every deep shadow beneath a 1,000-year-old tree. When we lose the ability to see the spirit in the landscape, we lose the ability to fear its power. And it is fear, in this context, that keeps us safe. The line between the living and the dead, between the human and the elemental, is not a wall. It is a veil of humid air, constantly shifting, constantly reminding us that what we possess is temporary, but what they own is eternal. If you wish to delve deeper into the origins of these creatures and explore the vast spiritual geography of the Philippines, you can access exclusive content on Patreon where we discuss the regional variations of the Laman Lupa mythos. Also, follow us on social media for daily folklore facts to keep the mystery alive in your daily life. Do not forget to like, subscribe, follow, and share this podcast. Support us financially through the options in the show notes. What happens when you find yourself alone, lost in a forest with no trail, and a soft, low chuckle drifts from the shadows? Do you call out for help? Or do you whisper, "Tabi-tabi po," and simply wait for the unseen owners of the earth to decide your fate?